Hi, I'm Cameron Sheets with Queerty, and I'm so thrilled to be joined today by the one, the only Alexandra Billings. How are you?
Very well, my friend. How are you?
I'm lovely. It's so great to talk with you. You, of course, have just such an incredible, prolific career. You've been in such an eclectic variety of projects over the years. Your latest role, which is, of course, the Peripheral. This is a big, complex world, lots of timelines we're talking about here. Was that something for you as an actor that felt intimidating to jump into?
I spent most of this shoot just urinating on myself. I was so frightened. I would just come to the set and just pee. It was so scary. And the plot was so complex. Most of my questions were to the writer or writers and going, what's happened? What's the matter with you people? Is everyone all right? Now watching it, it's not near as I think I was just nervous. It's not near as complex as I thought it was because I was watching it and I was going, oh, I'm an idiot. This makes perfect sense. So I think I was just frightened, I think.
First of all, incredible, badass character, but specifically the looks. Oh, the looks. You're just turning it out.
Well, bless your heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. They filmed me through the Doris Day lens. So I made sure that was true. They, the It was so interesting. I live in Long Beach and I get my hair done at a place called Salon Benders, which is here in Long Beach, which is a very specific hair salon for LGBT people, specifically for trans people, because when you transition, your hair is a big deal. And how you get it cut, how short, how long, it's a big deal. For non-binary people, it's a big deal. So the woman who does my hair, Jessie, she put this streak in just for the heck of it. This is before I even got the role. This white streak in my hair. And I was like, I love it. And then I got the role. And I said to the producers, I said, listen, I can, calm this down. They were like, no, we love that. It's really great. It's weird and great. And then they designed this sort of futuristic Sherlock Holmes suit, cape, cane thing that was astonishing. So the whole look of Low Beer, it looks to me, in my opinion, it looks to me like you recognize her, but you don't recognize her at all. So what they did was they took pieces that are familiar, pieces that were me, and then pieces that were sort of dreamlike and put them all together in this character. The designers of this show are geniuses.
We talked about your latest role, so I think it's only natural that we go all the way back. I would love to hear, what was the first professional paid acting role that you ever had?
I'm 104.
No.
Boy, the first paid gig. Oh, the first paid gig I ever had was what a great question. Was in Chicago, Illinois, in a play called Vampire Lesbians of Sodom. And it's a play that was written by Charles Bush, my very dear friend, Charles Bush. And it was the Chicago premiere, and I played the Virgin Sacrifice. That's how long ago this was. And that was 1989.
Wow.
Yeah. Wowee.
With that being your first paid acting role, were there any lessons or takeaways from that you've kept with you?
Yes, I learned to not be an asshole. Don't be that, because I was really filled with my own ego. I was not very kind to people. I really thought, where's my Oscar kind of thing. I was not telling the story. I was not living in any kind of joy, and I was not being of service to anybody except myself. That was the big takeaway from that. And it took me a little while, I have to be honest, to learn that lesson, but it started in that show. This is back in the day when I'll never forget this. We were going to do this big publicity campaign. And so the producers went to the Tribune, the Chicago Tribune, and said, Vampire Lesbians of Sodom, starring Alexandra Billings, blah, 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 at the Royal George Theater. And they said, we can't print that. And the producers went, what? They said, yeah, we can't print the word lesbians. So what they did was, this is absolutely true. What they did was they printed vampire, and then it would be L asterisk SBIANS of Sodom.
Like a swear word?
It's a naughty word, honey.
It is.
You stop that, you dirty, dirty lesbians. You stop that.
I'm curious, what would you consider your most challenging acting role? What was the part that really pushed you as a performer?
That's true of everything I do. Really, there's nothing that I have ever done where I've gone, "Ooh, well, that was easy." Like, that's never happened. I've done things that were a little more painful. I've done things that were a little more joyful. I've done things that have asked parts of me that I don't use very often, but everything I've done has been scary. I don't do it if it doesn't frighten me. If it doesn't frighten me, there's no point in doing it. And that's just true in my life, not just in my art. And I'm not talking about hesitation or trepidation or self-doubt. I'm talking about, gee, this thing is brand new and it scares me. If we're not going into the newness, then we don't practice courage. And we also don't practice taking other people's advice with us. There are sages and teachers all around us all the time trying to teach us lessons. So if we don't go into a new thing that we've never been in before, we don't honor those people around us.
The last prompt I want to give you is, what is a role, and this is maybe another tough one too, but what's a role or a project that you wish you could have another go at?
No, that's a great question. I would like to do Gypsy again. I did years ago. Yeah, I played Mama Rose in Gypsy. This was a very long time ago at the Bailiwick Theater in Chicago, and I was far too young. And now that I'm 60, I understand her more. She makes more sense to me. And it's about time that trans people had lead roles on Broadway anyway. So I would like to do a Broadway revival of Gypsy.
Alexandra, thank you so much. And thanks for letting us kind of take a trip down memory lane too, but then also talk about the Peripheral. It's really great.
Thanks, friend.